Canada has just unveiled a $4.8 billion mega bridge, a project that's more than just steel and concrete. It's a bold statement, a physical testament to the country's determination to shape its own destiny in a rapidly changing world. This bridge stands as a beacon of innovation and ambition, stretching across the river not just to connect two shores, but to connect the nation's past with its future. This bridge is a bold response to a trade war with its closest ally, the United States. When tensions rose and tariffs threatened to disrupt the flow of goods, Canada chose to answer, not with hostility, but with vision and resolve. It's a declaration of economic independence, designed to insulate Canada from U.S. pressure and assert its sovereignty. The bridge is more than infrastructure, it's a message to the world that Canada will chart its own course, no matter the obstacles. Built primarily with Canadian steel, the bridge is a direct answer to U.S. tariffs targeting this industry. Every beam and cable is a testament to Canadian craftsmanship and ingenuity, supporting thousands of local jobs. Every bolt and girder tells a story of defiance and resilience. The workers who built this bridge are part of a larger movement, one that refuses to be defined by external pressures. The government's new policies now prioritize domestic materials for public works, creating a protected market for Canadian producers. This shift is not just about economics, it's about building a foundation for future generations, ensuring that Canadian industries can thrive in a competitive world. This isn't just about moving goods, it's about national pride and economic survival. The bridge has become a rallying point, uniting communities and inspiring a renewed sense of purpose across the country. The bridge is the centerpiece of a strategy to counter U.S. tariffs and reduce dependence on American trade. It's a critical link in a new network of trade routes, designed to keep Canada's economy strong and adaptable. Instead of retaliating with more tariffs, Canada is building something permanent, a symbol of long-term vision. This approach is about investing in infrastructure that will serve generations, not just reacting to short-term challenges. This investment signals a future where Canada's economic lifelines are more secure, and its sovereignty is non-negotiable. It's a promise that the nation will always have the tools to stand on its own. The mega bridge is the first, and most visible step on this new path. It's a landmark that will inspire Canadians for decades to come, reminding them that when faced with adversity, they can build something extraordinary. The crisis began in early 2025, as tensions that had been simmering for years between the United States and Canada finally boiled over into open conflict. What started as a series of heated diplomatic exchanges quickly escalated into a full-blown trade war, catching both nations off guard. It all began when President Trump, in a surprise move, threatened sweeping tariffs on Canadian goods, citing national security and economic concerns. The announcement sent shockwaves through political and business circles on both sides of the border. A sudden 50% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum shocked markets, leaving manufacturers scrambling to assess the impact. The abruptness of the decision left little time for companies to prepare, and panic spread through the financial sector. The initial 50% tariff was soon replaced by a 25% tariff. Still a major blow to Canadian industry, and a clear signal that the U.S. was willing to play hardball. For Canada, a key U.S. ally and neighbor, this felt like a deep betrayal. The sense of trust that had defined decades of cooperation was suddenly shattered. The North American Economic Partnership, painstakingly built over decades, was now at risk of unraveling. Cross-border trade, once seamless, became fraught with uncertainty. Tensions escalated further. By July, the U.S. announced a sweeping 35% blanket tariff on all Canadian goods, citing issues like fentanyl trafficking and border security. The move stunned Canadian officials and business leaders alike. The new tariffs threatened to cripple vital supply chains and devastate border economies, putting thousands of jobs at risk, and sowing fear in communities dependent on cross-border trade. Stock markets tumbled, and uncertainty gripped businesses on both sides of the border. Investors braced for a prolonged standoff, unsure of what the future would hold. Canada's economic model, reliant on U.S. access for its exports, was suddenly under existential threat. The very foundation of Canadian prosperity seemed to be crumbling. In this crucible of crisis, Canadian leaders and business minds gathered to chart a path forward. The idea of a bold structural response began to take shape, fueled by a sense of urgency and national resolve. The $4.8 billion bridge project soon emerged as a symbol of Canada's determination to chart a new course, one that would secure its future and reduce its dependence on a single trading partner. The old rules no longer applied, a new strategy was needed, fast. Every hour of delay risked further damage to the economy and national morale. The mega bridge was born from this urgency, standing as a testament to Canadian resilience and the nation's resolve to adapt in the face of adversity. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government responded with a sweeping plan. Ottawa imposed a 25% tariff on Chinese steel and set quotas to protect Canadian producers. But the response went further. A $1 billion innovation fund was launched to modernize the steel industry. The government reformed procurement rules, mandating Canadian steel for public projects. The mega bridge became a guaranteed order for Canadian mills, turning taxpayer dollars into jobs. This was more than retaliation. It was a blueprint for economic renewal. Defensive tariffs, strategic investment, and Canada First procurement marked a new era. The message to Washington: Canada will defend its interests with every tool available. The bridge stands as the most powerful symbol of this new resolve. Canada's provinces joined the fight, each wielding unique leverage. Ontario imposed a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to U.S. states, forcing high-level talks. British Columbia threatened tolls on trucks bound for Alaska, targeting a vital U.S. supply chain. BC also stopped buying American products for government use and banned certain U.S. liquors. Yukon halted purchases from American companies and limited U.S. access to government contracts. These actions, though varied, showed coast-to-coast unity. The U.S. now faced a decentralized, multi-layered defense, not just Ottawa. Provinces used their economic levers to inflict targeted pain and amplify the federal message. The entire Canadian Federation stood united against the tariffs. The trade war's shockwaves hit both nations hard. U.S. financial markets tumbled, but the real pain was felt in border communities. Truck traffic from Canada into New York dropped 21%, starving local economies. Businesses in Buffalo and Detroit, reliant on cross-border trade, faced sudden downturns. Ironically, tariffs meant to protect U.S. industries hurt American communities. In Canada, a Buy Canadian movement surged, boosting local businesses and morale. BC's proposed tolls exposed U.S. supply chain vulnerabilities, especially for Alaska. Even a small disruption meant empty shelves or costly shutdowns. The crisis revealed just how deeply intertwined the two economies were. One side's actions could easily disrupt the other. The $4.8 billion mega bridge is as much about industrial policy as it is about transportation. It's a bold statement of intent, signaling that infrastructure can be a tool for shaping the nation's future, not just connecting 2 points on a map. By mandating the use of Canadian steel, the project guarantees a steady long-term demand for domestic mills. This isn't just about supporting an industry, it's about creating thousands of jobs, sustaining communities, and keeping vital skills alive for generations. This Canada First policy marks a significant shift from decades of free trade, where efficiency and cost ruled, to a new era that puts national security and self-reliance at the forefront of economic decisions. Even if Canadian steel comes at a higher price, the long-term benefits, good jobs, advanced skills, and a more resilient economy, are seen as investments in the country's future, not just costs. The bridge itself stands as the ultimate expression of this new philosophy, a physical symbol of Canada's commitment to its own prosperity and security. Beyond steel, the project tackles supply chain vulnerability, expanding and strengthening internal trade corridors so goods can move efficiently across the country, even in times of global uncertainty. Canada's goal is to move goods from coast to coast without being dependent on U.S. routes, ensuring that Canadian businesses and consumers are less exposed to foreign disruptions. It's a long-term play for economic sovereignty and independence, designed to give Canada more control over its own destiny in an unpredictable world. The bridge is a declaration. Canada will shape its own economic future, making choices that reflect its values and priorities. By investing in its people and industries, Canada is building the capacity to thrive on its own terms, now and for generations to come. The mega bridge marks a turning point in Canadian history. It's a bold pivot towards self-reliance and strategic independence. The Buy Canadian movement and new policies have fostered a renewed economic identity. For Americans, the trade war revealed the true costs of disruption. Canada's investments in infrastructure and innovation will make its economy more resilient for decades. The era of taking open borders for granted is over. A new, more balanced relationship is emerging. The bridge stands as a monument to Canadian resolve and vision. As it rises, it will remind both nations of the moment Canada chose to build its own future.